Hello learners, my name is Yanda Khadebe from Wits University, and today we'll be learning about poetry. So, what is poetry? Poetry is an art form of creative writing that uses imaginative and rhythmic language to evoke emotions, ideas, and vivid imagery in the readers. So, we now know that poetry uses beautiful words to describe something in our lives or something we have seen. You might already be familiar with reading poetry and understanding poetry, but when writing about poetry analysis, we need to have a solid, reliable structure to our sentences. This is why we use the PIEE method of analyzing a poem. The P stands for purpose, I, imagery, E, effectiveness and evaluation, and the last E, explanation and exploration. Poetry. The purpose is what the poet intended to say with the specific words that they used. So it is the why. Why did the poet say this? The imagery can be connected to our figures of speech like metaphors, similes, onomatopoeia, alliteration, assonance, etc. All of our figures of speech can be used to describe the imagery that the writer intended to use. We have to identify these images to see the type of picture the poet tried to paint with these words. We then have to give our opinion on whether the poet was effective in using these images. We can further elaborate with our explanation as to why it is effective and what the poet means through exploration. Right, now that we know how this works, we can implement it in our example for Sonnet 130.
Greetings, grade 10s. I am Miss Chuku and I'll continue from where Miss Radebe left off. So, you are required to work together in groups as we have organized you in the chats. So, you are going to use, or you are required to use the PIEE worksheet on the slides above and work together for the poem Sonnet 130. I'll pop in to just help you guys, okay? Now, grade 10s individually, try to understand the PIEE method using the slides for PIEE above, and also connect or link with the poem that we have given. Greetings, grade 10s. I am Miss Chuku and I'll continue from where Miss Radebe left off. Now I'll briefly explain for you guys the PIEE method. So we all know the P is for paraphrase, and you are expected or you are required as to how can you restate each quatrain for the poem in your own words. Or rather, what is the poem saying in simple words? There is an example for you that I have written. After P, we have I, which is imagery, and here you have to think which pictures or comparisons do you see in the poem, or what images or comparisons are used. And I have an example provided for you guys here. After I, we have E, which is is for evaluate. What do you think about these comparisons? And then there are some questions here for you, and I am expecting for you guys to answer them, please. Then after evaluate, we have explain. Now you explain what is the poet's message or purpose. And then I have given you 2 questions and I expect you guys to answer them. Now go further down your slide and try answer the following questions in the comment section. The questions for evaluate and explain. Okay, great, thanks. I will now hand over to Miss Mhlanga. Miss Mhlanga, over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mambeta Soruka. Okay, now let's go deep into Shakespeare's purpose. Why do you think Shakespeare chose to describe his mistress in such an unusual way? Is he rejecting fake beauty standards? Is he showing us something real about love? Think about the answers. Think about these questions also. Here's another question. What truth about love or beauty is he showing us through this comparison? Take a moment to reflect and remember, guys, there isn't just one correct answer. What matters is how you explain your answer. Okay? I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. Okay, we are back. Before we finish today's lesson, I'd like to test your PIEE skills in a short quiz. Please click the link you see here. You will have 3 minutes to answer 5 quick questions about paraphrase, imagery, effect, and explanation. Don't stress if you get some of the answers wrong. You'll get instant feedback, and don't worry because mistakes help us learn. So let's give it a try. Open that chat and start now. Okay? Great work today, everyone. Hello.
Grade 10s, now before we close, let's test your understanding of what we've learned today. We're going to do a short exit quiz, which is your exit ticket, meaning that you have to do this quiz in order for you to leave the lesson, right? And then don't worry, it's not a formal test. It's just a quick way for you to check yourself. The quiz is only 5 questions. You'll be asked simple things. For example, which part of PIEE asks you to put the poem in your own words? Or which of these lines show imagery? Understand? So all you need to do is to scan the QR code using another device on the screen, or just click the link if you're online. It will take you straight to the quiz. You'll answer the questions, and what's great is that you'll get instant feedback. That means you'll immediately see if your answer was correct or not. And if you do get some answers wrong, that's still okay. It's just showing that you know what to revise before next time. Remember that you don't learn poetry by memorizing or cramming. We learn by practicing and checking our understanding. So this task is a short, fun, and quick quiz that will help you grow. Now, for your homework items, you are going to apply the PIEE method on your own. So this will give you more practice in analyzing poetry. You have to choose one poem from the list that we gave you. For example, Hope for Refugees, Your Smile, or Still I Rise. So when you've chosen your poem, you will go through the 4 steps of PIEE, of which the first one is paraphrase, where you put the poem into your own words. What is the poet saying? Just don't copy. Explain it simple, please. And the second one is imagery. Find examples where the poet uses words to appeal to the senses. Does the poet describe sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste? And then the third one is effectiveness or evaluate, where you explain if the poet's choice of words and imagery works well. Do they send a clear message? Do they make the poem powerful? You're gonna have to answer that. Please don't copy. And the fourth one, the last one, is another E, of which is explain or explore. So this is the last step, right? Here, you try to make it personal. What does the poem mean to you? Can you link it to society or to real life today? So you will then use the worksheet we shared to guide you. Make sure to complete it and submit it before the next class. So this homework is important because it helps you become more confident in using terms like paraphrase, imagery, and effects when you analyze poem. Please. Now, for your homework items, you're going to apply the PIE. Now, before we finish, let's remind ourselves of what we learned today. We focused on the PIEE method, which is paraphrase, imagery, effectiveness, and explain or explore. These 4 steps are your toolkit for poetry analysis. Think of every poem like a puzzle. It may seem difficult at first, but if you use the PIEE steps, you can unlock the meaning, step by step. Remember, when you paraphrase, you show that you understand the poet's words in simple language, right? And when you identify imagery, you pay attention to the senses, what you see, what you hear, what you can touch, what you can taste, or what you can smell in the poem. And when you talk about effectiveness, you think critically. Does the poem's language make its message strong? Yes or no? And explain. And when you explain or explore, you connect the poem to real life, to your own experiences, and to society today. So we practiced the PIEE using Shakespeare's Sonnet 130. In that poem, we saw how the poet used the unusual comparisons to describe his mistress honestly instead of praising her with false beauty. Even though she is not compared to the sun or coral, he still loves her genuinely. That's the message of the poem. True love is honest, right? Understand? So next, you'll apply the PIEE on your own by analyzing Hope for Refugees. This will help you think about poetry in connection to real social issues, and it will also develop your skills in reading and critical thinking. Right? So remember that PIEE is not just for this class. It's a strategy that can help you in English literature, but also in other subjects where you need to analyze and explain complex texts. Well done, grade 10s, and keep practicing PIEE until it becomes your second nature. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.